Hope Logan's hands quivered slightly as she pushed open the satiny glass doors of Forrester Creations for what she knew, deep in her heart, might be the last time for a while. The echoes of her argument with Steffy Forrester still chimed sorrowfully in her cognizance, a symphony of frustration, hurt, and unbelief. She had no way intended for effects to escalate this far, but the heated exchange in the design plant had cut deeper than she anticipated. It wasn't just the words Steffy had wrangled at her. It was the beginning weight, the pressure, the blameworthiness that Hope didn't belong, that ever her vision for the brand, her ideas, and her very presence in the Forrester macrocosm were unpleasant, or worse, hanging. She flashed back Steffy's eyes flashing with that icy determination, the way her voice had carried across the open-plan office, sharp and deliberate, each syllable slicing through the air with the perfection of a finely honed blade. Hope's own heart had pounded in her casket, a admixture of wrathfulness and heartache, as she tried, in vain, to explain herself, to show that her intentions had always been pure, that her commitment to Forrester Creations, to the heritage of the brand, and indeed to the complicated web of family dynamics, was genuine. But Steffy had been grim, her words slinging like a tidal surge of review that left Hope reeling, feeling small, nearly unnoticeable, in a place she had formerly allowed. Was her home. As she walked through the familiar hallways, recollections flitted past her eyes, design boards projected up with vibrant fabrics, sketches that had formerly been a participated labor of love, horse laugh echoing from brainstorming sessions, moments when she had felt truly part of the family. And yet, all of that now sounded alloyed by the argument, as if the very walls of Forrester Creations had absorbed the pressure and were now pressing down on her, suffocating her with a cold wave, indifferent weight. She passed by the conference room where she had presented her last collection, the one she had poured innumerous insomniac nights into, and she felt a stitch of sadness. That room had formerly been a sanctuary, a place where creativity flowed disencumbered, where collaboration was supposed to flourish. But it had been the battlefield where words were used as munitions, where intentions disaccorded, and where her dreams had felt, for a transitory yet ruinous moment, dismissed. As she made her way past the display walls adorned with iconic dresses and runway prints, Hope's mind contended with tone-questioning studies. Had she truly misstepped? Had her approach, her vision, been too bold, too different for Steffy to accept? Or was this the ineluctable collision of two strong conscious women who, despite collective respect, were bound to clash over control, recognition, and the future of the company? The internal harangue twisted and turned like a maze in her head, each aloud, layering on top of the coming, amplifying the weight of the decision she now faced leaving. And yet, as much as leaving hurt, as much as it tore at the fabric of her connection to Forrester Creations, Hope honored that occasionally stepping back wasn't a sign of defeat but of preservation, of tone respect, reason, and the understanding that certain battles, especially Bones, fueled by emotion rather than reason, could drain further than they ever erected. Her eyes dallied for a moment on the plush leather chairpersons in the lobby, the golden accentuations that lusted under the outflow lights, the subtle hum of the structure that had formerly felt like a twinkle she could sync with, and she realized that this departure wasn't just about a professional disagreement. It was about reclaiming her own narrative, about stepping into a space where she could breathe, suppose, and eventually choose the path that recognized her creativity, her identity, and her sense of belonging, not just the anticipation of others. Outdoors, the Los Angeles sun lusted, casting a warm gleam that varied with the storm of feelings swirling inside her. She broke, taking a deep breath, feeling the warmth on her face as if the megacity itself was prompting her to keep moving forward, to embrace the unknown with courage rather than fear. Every step down from the doors of Forrester Creations felt contemporaneously liberating and heavy, an incongruity she was learning to navigate with each twinkle. And as she walked into the bustling thoroughfares, past the familiar cafes where she and Liam had formerly dallied, past the exchange shops where she had drawn alleviation for her rearmost collection, Hope felt an admixture of grief and expectation. She suffered the loss of what she had known, the sense of immediate belonging, the fellowship that had been tainted by battle. But within that grief, there was also the flicker of stopgap, the ironic and yet befitting namesake of her life's trip, a hint that suggested new openings, new alliances, and maybe a redefinition of her part not just within the fashion world, but within her own family and particular identity. As she hailed a hack, Her fritters gripping the swatch of her handbag, she couldn't help but renewal Steffy's words one last time, anatomizing them, trying to find clarity amid the chaos. And in that moment, Hope realized commodity profound departing was enter rendition. It was a conscious, deliberate act of choosing herself, of prioritizing her own integrity and creative voice in a world that was frequently ruthless, competitive, and emotionally unpredictable. She didn't know what awaited her coming. Maybe a rival company seeking her unique bents, maybe a particular trip that would lead to conciliation or new discoveries, but for the first time in hours, she felt a spark of commission. The hack pulled down, and the wind carried a sense of movement, of transition, brushing against her face as if brooding stimulant. Hope leaned back, letting her studies drift, imagining the unborn sketches she might produce, the systems she might forefront, and the new dynamics she'd have the chance to navigate outside the familiar walls that had both nurtured and constrained her. And indeed, as the megacity blurred past the window, a testament to her forward stir, her mind remained tethered to Forrester creations, to the pressure with Steffy, and to the inarguable verity that some chapters, no matter how painful, must close for the sake of growth, understanding, and the pledge of what lay ahead. By the time the hack faded into the Los Angeles business, Hope had made an internal oath to face the challenges ahead with courage, to recognize her creativity without concession, and to no way let a single conflict, still violent, mandate the summation of her worth or her path. Steffy would have her moments of triumph within the company, of course, she always did, but Hope's departure was a concession. It was in protestation that she could define her own terms, write her own story, and claim her place in a world that would inescapably test her resoluteness, her tolerance, and her spirit. And in that protestation, there was a quiet, enduring power, the kind that comes not from palm in a single battle. The two agree that the coming step must be telling Elektra together, but neither of them is sure when the right moment will be. Ivy worries Elektra might feel betrayed for having such a huge secret kept from her entire life. Liam fears she might reject him fully after learning the verity. Yet despite their fears, both of them know the secret cannot stay retired ever. As the sun begins to set outside the precipice house windows, Liam eventually stops pacing and looks at Ivy with an admixture of determination and vulnerability. He tells her that if Elektra truly is his son, he wants the chance to make a relationship with her, indeed if it takes time. Ivy nods, relieved but still anxious about what the future holds. Away, Elektra stands in the design office at Forrester Creations, reviewing sketches and featuring about her future in the fashion world. She has no idea that at this very moment, the foundation of her entire identity is about to change. The disclosure that Liam Spencer might be her father won't only review her history but also reshape her place in the important Forrester and Spencer dynasties. And in classic The Bold and the Beautiful fashion, the verity promises to enkindle emotional competitions, family battles, and unanticipated alliances. When Elektra eventually hears the words "Liam is your father," her response could shoot shockwaves through every corner of Los Angeles. The question now isn't just whether the secret will come out, it is how everyone will survive formally it does. The stunner Ivy has dropped is only the morning, and the fallout may change the lives of Liam, Elektra, and the entire Forrester family ever. More. The emotional shock continues to ripple through the world of The Bold and the Beautiful after Ivy Forrester delivers the life-changing concession to Liam Spencer that Elektra Forrester is actually their son. For Liam, the disclosure isn't just shocking, it fully rewrites his understanding of the once decade of his life. Every memory, every discussion, and every strange moment he participated with Elektra suddenly carries a deeper meaning. As Ivy continues explaining how she hid the gestation and raised Elektra down from the chaos of Los Angeles, Liam feels a whirlwind of feelings. Part of him is furious that such an enormous verity was hidden from him, but another part of him cannot stop allowing about the possibility that he has another child who has grown into a remarkable youthful woman without him indeed knowing. Ivy's voice trembles as she describes how delicate those early times were. She confesses that raising Elektra alone forced her to come stronger than she ever imagined. She worked lifelessly to give her son stability and occasion while constantly stewing that someone from the Forrester or Spencer worlds might discover the verity. Ivy explains that every time Elektra asked questions about her father, she plodded with what to say. She no way wanted to lie, but she also stressed that revealing Liam's identity would pull Elektra into a family drama that no way seems to end. Now, Still, effects have changed. Elektra is no longer a child. She is a grown-up who deserves to understand where she came from. Liam sluggishly sits down, his mind racing. The reality of motherhood has always been important to him, and the idea that he intentionally missed times of his son's life is nearly unsupportable. He remembers Elektra's determination when she joined the design platoon at Forrester Creations and how impressed he was by her intelligence and confidence. At the time he simply allowed. She was another ambitious member of the extended Forrester family. Now he wonders if the connection he felt with her was commodity deeper, commodity spontaneous. The possibility that he tasted his own son without realizing it sends chills down his spine. But the moment of reflection snappily turns into anxiety about what will be next. Liam knows that once the verity comes out, it'll not stay contained between him and Ivy. The news will spread snappily through Los Angeles, especially once it reaches Steffy Forrester. Steffy has always had a complicated relationship with Ivy, and the disclosure that Ivy intimately had Liam's child could enkindle a fierce battle. Steffy has spent times navigating her own emotional history with Liam, and learning that he has another son with someone differently could renew old injuries she allowed were eventually healed. Ivy understands Liam's enterprises. She admits that she has spent numerous nights fussing about how Steffy will reply. Steffy is defensive of her family and fiercely pious to those she loves, but she can also be extremely combative when she feels betrayed. Ivy fears that Steffy will see the secret as a deliberate deception rather than a hopeless decision made times ago by an alarmed woman trying to cover her child. Meanwhile, Elektra continues erecting her character at Forrester Creations. Her gift and determination are beginning to earn the respect of the company's leadership. Contrivers and directors likewise have noticed that she possesses a unique creative instinct that sets her piecemeal. What they don't realize is that her drive comes incompletely from the questions she has carried inside her for times. Elektra has always felt that there was commodity missing from the story of her life. She loves Ivy deeply and appreciates everything her mama has done for her, but she cannot shake the feeling that there's a retired chapter she has no way been allowed to read. One autumn at the office, Elektra finds herself in a brief discussion with Liam. Their commerce is friendly but slightly awkward, as if both of them smell an implied pressure. Liam studies her face precisely, noticing parallels he no way paid attention to before: the shape of her smile, the intensity in her eyes, the way she tilts her head when she's thinking. Each bitsy detail makes his heart race. He wonders if Elektra will notice the strange shift in his jest. After their discussion ends, Liam leaves the structure feeling overwhelmed. The secret Ivy revealed now feels heavier than ever because he's standing face to face with the person it concerns most. He wants desperately to tell Elektra the verity incontinently, but Ivy's warning echoes in his mind. However, the disclosure could shatter her sense of identity if they rush into the discussion without preparing her emotionally. That evening, Liam meets Ivy again to bandy their coming move. The pressure between them is still present, but it's now mixed with a participated determination to cover Elektra. They agree that honesty is the only path forward, yet timing will be everything. Ivy suggests that they arrange a private regale where the three of them can talk without interruptions. Liam agrees, though he cannot hide the fear in his voice when he asks the question that haunts him most: what if Elektra hates them for keeping this secret? Ivy admits that possibility terrifies her as well. She knows Elektra values honesty and independence, and discovering that her entire life story has been incompletely hidden could make her sense betrayed. But Ivy also believes Elektra has a compassionate heart. Once the shock fades, she may understand why the decision was made. As the plan begins to take shape, another complication emerges. Rumors start circulating within the Forrester family that Ivy and Liam have been meeting intimately. Those whispers snappily reach Steffy, who incontinently grows suspicious. Steffy confronts Liam, demanding to know why he has been spending so important time with Ivy again. Liam struggles to answer without revealing the verity precociously, which only increases Steffy's frustration. Steffy's instincts tell her that commodity significant is passing behind the scenes. She has learned over the times that secrets infrequently stay hidden for long in their world, and when they eventually face, they frequently bring chaos with them. Determined to uncover what Liam and Ivy are hiding, she begins asking questions and paying near attention to Elektra as well. Ignorant of the storm erecting around her, Elektra continues fastening on her work and her future. Yet deep outside, She senses that commodity in her life is about to change. There are moments when she catches Ivy looking at her with a strange admixture of love and guilt, and moments when Liam seems surprisingly emotional during their exchanges. These subtle signals make Elektra wonder if a long-buried Verity is sluggishly rising to the face. Soon the moment of Verity will arrive, the regale where Ivy and Liam eventually tell Elektra everything. When those words are spoken, the consequences will ripple across the entire world of the bold and the beautiful. Connections will be tested, commitment will shift, and Elektra herself will have to decide what this disclosure means for the person she believes she is. Because if Ivy's stunner is true, Elektra isn't just another member of the extended Forrester family. She's the son of Liam Spencer, a fact that will permanently bind her to one of the most important and complicated families in Los Angeles. And once that Verity is revealed, nothing in their lives will ever be the same again. More. The pressure continues to rise in the dramatic world of the bold and the beautiful as the secret participated between Ivy Forrester and Liam Spencer grows heavier with every fleeting hour. After Ivy's shocking concession that Elektra Forrester is actually their son, Liam finds himself unfit to suppose about anything differently. The Verity has awakened an important admixture of feelings: shock, wrathfulness, curiosity, and a deep sense of responsibility he no way anticipated to feel again. Liam has always taken motherhood seriously, and the study that a youthful woman he has lately come to respect might actually be his child fills him with both excitement and remorse. That night, Liam sits alone at the precipice house, gaping out at the dark ocean swells crashing below. His mind renewals Ivy's words again and again: Elektra is our son. Each time he hears the judgment in his head, it feels more real. He begins flashing back moments with Elektra, small exchanges, brief grins, indeed the way she formally defended one of her design ideas with surprising confidence during a meeting at Forrester Creations. At the time he'd simply been impressed by her courage. Now, still, he wonders if the pride he felt was commodity deeper, and spontaneous connection between father and son. Across city, Ivy is passing her own emotional fermentation. For times she believed she was guarding everyone by keeping Elektra's maternity a secret. But now that the Verity has been spoken audibly to Liam, Ivy realizes that the hardest part may still be ahead. Telling Elektra will change everything. Ivy fears the moment when her son might look at her not with love, but with treason. She knows Elektra values honesty above all differently, and discovering that such an enormous Verity has been hidden from her entire life could shake the trust between them.